I want to wish all Guyanese a happy Holi. I'm sure people in many parts of the country are now celebrating this very special day, and I want to wish them all the best in these celebrations. There are many others who are not celebrating because of the gloom that hangs over our country with this attempt by APNU AFC to steal the elections. I want to assure you that we are working assiduously to ensure that this doesn't happen. We have been pursuing various steps with our international partners, and they have all been fully briefed about the situation. And many of you know that they have taken an enormously strong position on this issue. I have to recall the positions taken by several countries and large organizations like the Commonwealth, the OAS, the European Union, CARICOM, where they made it clear that the elections Granger cannot be sworn in until there is verification of the results of Region 4. Why is APNU so reluctant to verify the results of Region 4 on the basis of using the statements of poll? They know why. Until now, they have not uploaded in the public domain a single one of their statements of poll. They have all of them. We did this since several days ago. We uploaded all the statements of poll for Region 4 so that people could have access to those across this country and across the world. GCOM has not uploaded its statements of poll. So we know they would not do that, because if they do it, then it will show that APNU has lost the elections and that the fictitious numbers that were declared by the RO that came from where we don't know, because all of the statements of poll that were being used for the verification by the RO was lying in an office in front of all of the observers and the representatives of the party when he made that declaration outside of that office. So we are very adamant on this, that you have to verify the results. The international community has said the same thing. The CARICOM has been very strong on this matter, and Mia Mottley has said that every vote must count. The United States of America has been even stronger. They said that even if the court case, for example, APNU got that case lifted and the injunction discharged, and Granger is sworn in on the basis of these fraudulent results, they have seen enough, the ambassador and the others have seen enough to know that the results are fraudulent. Therefore, the government will be illegitimate. And that position is shared by the international community. So we have to continue to fight for decency. All of the people who say they want verified results, this was the call of the AFC and APNU in 2015. How suddenly they don't want these results verified using the statements of poll. All decent-minded people should join the call. In fact, many local organizations have taken a strong position. The Catholic Bishop, the Private Sector Commission, the Bar Association, and several others have done so, but there is silence from others, and they too should join that call. Now, we have seen a ton of rumors spread by APNU and their agents. And these people, we are making a list of all of them that should Granger forge ahead, illegally and get some people to swear him in, then we're going to pursue sanctions against them. And the international community has made it clear that there shall be sanctions if that happens for them and their families. Travel restrictions, a whole range of other types of sanctions. There'll be sanctions to the country for doing business with this government, etc. So many of them think that, oh, they can survive this. That is not the leadership there, because they would have some oil money. Even that would be undergo sanctions. And so I want to urge people that not all is lost. This is a retrievable situation. Do not listen to the propaganda of APNU. Suddenly they have their propagandists saying that, oh, in some regions the votes were more than those, and the total votes on the votes that the PPP got was more than the total list, the number of electors on the list. Well, they had a chance to verify that. Not even APNU has made that suggestion, because if they say which region or which district, people can easily go to the statements of poll and see that it's false. So if they want a recount in many of the regions, although they have declared the results, the PPP does not have a problem with recounting every single vote across the country. Does not have a problem with that, because we know that it will show a win for the People's Progressive Party. And if they want to do that in Region 4 too, we can go back to the boxes and do that. That is why we've raised with the international community the safety of the ballot boxes. They are aware of it. They're aware that they were assured that they'll be protected. But we have people looking at these boxes, and the international community has said to us that they too are observing it seriously. There are other rumors like, oh, the PPP brought Russians in before the elections to hack the system. You can't hack people's fingers. We have a manual system. How do you hack a person's finger in the polling place and tell him how to vote? So after that happened, the count was done right there. It's a manual count. And the statements of poll were signed by all the parties, reflected that count, and posted outside of the polling places. The tabulation system was done by the ROs manually. And so how could how could anyone hack the system? Now, what they have been doing is that they have worked to create a surveillance system across Guyana using the Chinese network that was built. And they're watching Freedom House and many other places. There is a unit that is working with the Ministry of the Presidency and with Felix and Paul Slow, who are connected with elements in the police force. They have handpicked the people they're using, so they're removing decent police officers from various places, handpicked a number of people who are harassing others. So the latest example was they claimed that they caught up Mark Phillips with a Russian guy at the Marriott. Now that guy who was at the Marriott, he is a former executive director, U.S. executive director to the Inter-American Development Bank, appointed by President Obama. When they arrested the guy called us, and I sent Mark Phillips to go over there to see that what they were doing. They just wanted to expel the foreigners from the country. So this is what they're a full-fledged police state. Since Mingo made that fraudulent declaration, he was escorted out by 6 policemen, obviously handpicked, and he has not been seen until now. For the last 5 days, Lowenfield can't be found. The chair has a number of guards preventing people from seeing her. The room that she was in didn't have handles on the doors, so nobody from the outside could get in. But the only people getting to her is Amne Ali, who went to her home and spent over an hour there. And then just yesterday, Roysdale Ford, who is a PNC candidate, along with Mr. Boston, went to see her at her office. So this is all uh, very, very strange. And the international community is aware of all of this. The international community is also aware of Volder Lawrence's signature on the statement of the, the RO's declaration for Region 4. Now, I want you to go to the GCOM's website, or if they pull that down by now, go to the Chronicle, yesterday's Chronicle, where GCOM published the results for the declarations of all the ROs for the 10 regions, contrary to the injunction or in defiance of the injunction and in contempt of the court. They've had to promise that to withdraw that because in the court case yesterday. But check the one for Region 4 and check the other regions. Every other region has a one signature on the declaration. That is the signature of the RO, the returning officer. In the case of Region 4, you have the signature of the returning officer and Volder Lawrence's signature. What is Volder Lawrence's signature doing on the RO's declaration? And this is uploaded by GCOM, not by the PPP. It's not fake. It's uploaded by GCOM and published in the newspapers by GCOM. It's Volder Lawrence. It's like Volder Lawrence making the declaration for Region 4 instead of the RO. And so the international community is aware of this totally fraudulent declaration that was made. It seems as though this declaration was generated at Congress Place. What I was told that the first time it was sent out, on the day that it was done, we don't know where, but it was sent out to the media. It didn't even have the stamp. Now they've affixed the stamp, but it could not remove Volder Lawrence's signature. And so all of these things point to a grand conspiracy. The good thing is the international community knows this. Now, I've seen a lot of people talking about truce and shared governance, and we made it clear we're prepared to explore that model. We're not interested in recrimination. We're not interested in harassing people, etc., like they did to us. We want to make sure that could happen, and we can talk about that after the rightful winner of these elections, or the party that got the most votes, is sworn in. That is the rule of the game. We started off like that, and that must be the outcome. That the results must be verified, and only the verified results declared, and on that basis, a government sworn in, and then we can talk about engagements in the future. This is important. And so I would urge people, do not listen to propagandists of APNU like Gordon Mosley or Enrico Wolford, or I gather some others, Malcolm Harry Paul has been posting lies all the time. They too are very desperate. They're just as desperate and could be part of the conspiracy to impose fraudulent results and have a fraudulent government foisted on our country. And we have brought this to the attention of the international community too, because we believe they're part of that tiny cabal, maybe 40 or 50 persons who have been part of this grand conspiracy. The strange thing is that they have managed to convince some others who have not looked at the numbers. And I urge them to look at the numbers. Some decent-minded people, that somehow they won. I urge those people to go and look at the numbers. Look at the percentage growth in all the regions for APNU in terms of support. You will see it's a decline or it's a tiny growth in there, the percentage over 2015. And then Region 4 suddenly, on miraculously defied that entire nationwide trend. And it had a massive, massive growth based on their numbers. On the basis of the numbers that we published based on the statements of poll, the actual numbers, you will see that the growth in Region 4 for APNU AFC is consistent with the national growth and in some of the other regions, because they moved from some 113,000 in 2015 to 116,000. In their scenario, in the fraudulent results, they moved from 113 to 136,000. Unbelievable. But those results are fraudulent. So I want to say to the staff of GCOM and those who are in Congress Place who may be trying to put together fraudulent statements of poll now, that this is not only fraud, but everyone knows the results. People have gone down the road, even now, and many of you can go and take pictures of these statements of poll that are posted on the schools and other places where the public buildings where the polling places were. And so a lot of people, tons of people, have these statements of poll. So they would have a hard time generating fictitious ones in this regard. And we know the balance, so they would have to account for that, the balance of the unused copies, because we have a careful record when they were packing how many additional statements of poll were with the RO, how many were, and we made that information public, how many sets he had extra, how many extra votes he had, ballots he had. Like in Region 4, it was just over 1,000 extra ballots. We know how many have been unused and lying in a container, and we know how many each presiding officer had, and how many have been used, because the balance are in the boxes. So we have a detailed account, data of all of this. So if they try to spring any conspiracy or generate fake documents, then not only will it be exposed, but those people will have consequences for being part of the conspiracy. So I want to urge people, I'm sorry that I had to deal with all of these issues on a very special day for Guyanese, Holi, but such is the case that in our country right at this moment, there's an attempt to steal an election, and it will not succeed. The international community has been very, very supportive, and I want to thank all the other political parties who have stood up against this illegal, this attempt to steal elections and to install an illegal government. Thank you.